It's a cold and rainy day today, and it just feels good to cozy up with a cup of coffee. And since we're still within the first week of 2023, I thought of bringing you down with me through a tour of everything that I created in 2022. So go ahead and grab your cup of coffee and let's get started. So here I started off the year with this acrylic painting on stretch canvas. This is Earth. It's one of the 4 paintings that I did in this collection, and to me Earth represents groundedness, nourishment, wisdom, and beauty. Just because everything in nature to me is so beautiful and majestic and mighty. So I believe I finished this piece on January 14th. It felt really good to start off the year with this one. I really love the way it turned out, so it just motivated me to keep going. Okay, so this piece right here I did in watercolors. I believe I completed this on February 13th. It was for, of course, Valentine's. This one is part of another collection that is ongoing, at least in my head. I still have other ones that I would love to create. This one is the series is called Becoming One, and it basically represents of those sparks that you get when you suddenly touch that very special person, and it just can be a slight touch of the hands, and yeah, so it's kind of like merging with each other. Needless to say, I'm a very much a hopeless romantic, so yeah, that was the intention of this piece, and I really love the way it turned out. So I continued with this one, and this is the other one that I created as Becoming One. Again, one of those very romantic pieces. I just wanted to capture that one very lovely kiss. I really like the way this one turned out too. So it's all done in watercolor. Both pieces are done in watercolor. Then changing styles and mediums as I do as a multimedia artist. I created this one with alcohol markers. It's Boba Fett. The only change that I did is that he normally has these little symbols right here. Not these little symbols, but he has like some Star Wars related symbols on his armor. And right here I put little hearts because it was still February. It was still very close to Valentine's Day, and I made this one for my husband. He's very much a Star Wars fan, so I created this one for him. He really likes it. Okay, and we're back on this desk now, and I present to you Fire. This is again one of my 4 paintings collection of 4 elements. This one I believe I finished in February 19th. I enjoyed creating this one so much. I had never painted fire, and it was so freeing. There was so much loose brush strokes and just going wild and kind of thinking of the dance and the movement of fire as I was painting it. So she represents fire, and it's a very strong piece to me. It's just it represents so much strength and so much power, and yeah, so that was my next one in my 4 painting collection. Okay, and here we have water. This one again is part of my 4 elements collection. We're on number 3 now. This one I believe I completed on March 18th. It took me very long to finish this piece. I just wasn't getting that result that I was hoping for with water, but at the end I was very happy with it. It symbolizes to me the strength and the beauty and the dance and resilience of water. It's just so vital and it's just so beautiful. The sea is one of the most calming places to me in this world, so I really wanted to do it justice, and I hope I did in this piece. I really do like the way it turned out. I enjoyed painting it so much. So this one again, it's in acrylics on a stretched canvas, 18 by 24. And here we have air. Air is my last painting in my 4 elements collection. To me, air represents purity, resilience, change, all in a positive light, of course. All of these paintings to me represent balance, and they all are meant to portray lots of positivity and harmony. So this is an acrylic painting on a stretched canvas, 18 by 24. The whole collection is done on stretched canvas, 18 by 24 each. And here we have another one, guys. This one, I actually didn't start it in the year 2022. I started this one in 2021, and I thought I was finished with it, but it's one of those paintings that after staring at you back for quite some time, I ended up tweaking it, and I repainted the mountains and I repainted the sky. This one actually is taken off of a picture reference of the place nearby where I live. We're very fortunate to have very beautiful sunsets, gorgeous sunsets. I wanted to represent that in the sky. So I completed this. I finally called it completed in, I believe it was May 16th. It's another painting on stretched canvas. It's all acrylic, and it has a ton of texture. Those clouds, I used gesso to create some texture. Later on, once I was finished with all of my 4 elements collection in the bigger paintings, I decided that it would be fun for me to create these little minis representing the same 4 elements. So I did them in little stretch canvas and also in acrylics. So I carried on the same kind of style that I did for the bigger paintings, only in a much reduced scheme, and just kind of focusing on what each one represents without bringing in those entities that I did in the bigger paintings. So I'm throwing this one in the mix. This was more of a study that I did. This was a picture that I pulled from, I think it was Pixabay or Pexels, one of those royalty-free websites. I just wanted to make a study of the water. I had never attempted painting water in a more realistic-ish kind of way. So I decided to go for it before I headed into my big 4 elements water painting. So this was my first one, and I really enjoyed the way it turned out. You guys, you would be so surprised at how long it takes to paint water. It takes very long. I definitely underestimated the process. I thought it was gonna be more freeing and more flowy, and that it would be much of a quicker process, but no, it takes very long. But after all, it was really fun to go through it, and yeah, this was my study, and I really love the way it turned out. Then I painted this little more illustrative or cartoonish, I would say, style of a sunset. A big fan of anything moon related, so you probably by now already noticed that I add moons, even my signatures, and a lot of my work. So here, this one was just a fun little painting that I did for, well, it didn't really have any purpose other than I got super inspired by a beautiful sunset that we got mid-May. I can't remember exactly what day it was, but we had this beautiful pink sky, and the clouds were just picking up the sun rays, and they just looked golden. It just looked gorgeous. So I went ahead and did a representation of what that looked like to me, and this one is done on a canvas board, and it's all acrylic painting. This mini painting I created in May 17th. It was one of those things that I had in mind. I wanted to do something very colorful and very summery. It was already getting very hot right here where I live, so it was only logical for me to try and make something that would cool us down just by looking at it. So like I said, this is a mini painting. I think I used a reference picture from either Pexels or Pixabay. I sometimes use those royalty-free websites to help myself with anatomy. And this one, I think everything, of course, everything is different from the picture, but I used the hand for anatomy, and the cone just for dimensions as well. I didn't want it to be too small or too large, and yeah, I really like the way it turned out. It's on a stretched canvas, and the pink paint that you see there, it's actually my own mix. Liquitex actually makes a neon paint set, and I got that one with the intention of using it for this neon colors, but I wasn't too happy with it, so I actually ended up mixing my own. My next piece I completed on May 28th. I had to go back to basics and use my pencil and paper, as I always do. Anytime I'm experiencing a little bit of an art block, I like to go back to my pencil and paper, and there's nothing that can kicks me right out of it, like going back to my basics. So this one I just called Morning Coffee, and it's very much like my first drawings that I ever did, which is just anatomy, mostly women, and I enjoy coffee and I enjoy drawing hair, so it's all together in one piece. Okay guys, I hope we can see this one clearly because there's a lot of glare. This one is actually my first attempt to paint with oil paints. These are not the traditional oil paints though. These are water soluble or water mixable oil paints by Winsor & Newton. I am very much a chicken when it comes to painting with oil paints just because of the toxicity and the fumes. I know there are ways to work around it, but I haven't dove into the traditionals yet. So this one was actually all a la prima. A la prima meaning that I only did it all in one shot. I never waited for any layers to dry first and go over other layers. It's just one shot. So it's funny enough that I'm kind of wearing kind of like the same kind of nail polish, but yeah, the reference, I don't know if you can already tell, that's my own hands. I took a picture of myself holding my favorite coffee mug, and I just painted off of that. So yeah, this was again the same kind of color scheme that I've been digging at this point, and I was actually quite happy with the results. This piece right here, I could have a whole video just talking about this one. The name of this piece is Pure Love. It's all done in acrylic on a stretched canvas. It's a 24 by 36 inches canvas. I created this with the intention of portraying that love that one has for the art, whether it's music, visual arts, writing, etc. So I wanted to give this one justice and really portray that union that one has with the art. Later on, mid-July, I think it was, I created this one. I call it Sea in a Shell. It's kind of like a study that I did because my grandmother gave a seashell to my daughter, and I decided to go for it and see if I could paint it. There you go. So this one I used iridescent paints by Arteza. It was my first time using them, and I'm trying to turn it so you can see how the iridescence looks, but I'm not sure it picks up on camera. I think it just picks up as glare, but it's really pretty in person. You can see the ships in colors just by that shimmer iridescence that the paint gives. Let me see if I can bring the reference seashell that I used for this. So here she is in all of its glory. It's so pretty. It's actually, this one is collected from one of the beaches that my grandma has visited, and she just gave it to my daughter. It was so sweet. And I call this one Sea in a Shell, just because of the way I always think that seashell very much represents what the name of it is, where you just put your ear to it and you basically hear the ocean again and again whenever and wherever you are. So That's why I put sea in a shell, because that's what it represents to me. It's like you have the sea in a shell. So yeah, I hope you like this one. This piece, I no longer own the original. Somebody off of Etsy was kind enough to support my shop and buy this piece. I created it actually off of a still life because I had the bread on hand. This is a very popular Mexican bread that we just happen to love, and I thought it would be fun to paint it with all the beautiful vibrant colors. My next piece was this watercolor painting that I did during a live stream on Instagram. This was done in September, I believe. It was just one of those things that I just sketched with a coal erase purple pencil, and then I just added some sorry about my squeaky chair. I added some watercolor on top just to give it some dimension and values. And yeah, this was pretty fun to do. That was my very first live stream, and it was a lot of fun. The following week, I did this other one, also during a live stream on Instagram. I think this was mid-September, and we were getting really into the Halloween and very much fall. So I decided to go with the little black cat in a pumpkin patch with some cute little mushrooms. This was my second live stream on Instagram. I pretty much completed the whole thing during the live stream. The only thing that I refined at the end was the all the white highlights that I did with the gel pen, and then I think I just gave the cat another layer of black because my first layer of black was a little too diluted, so it was looking too gray. So yeah, I really like this one. This was one that I later on turned into note cards. I put this one in note cards along with 3 other designs that I did that are very much fall oriented. So on the following week, I did another watercolor painting for another live stream. This one I named Autumn. I think at this point this was September 20th or so. She was created, like I said, during the live stream. I believe I already had the sketch started when I did the live stream, just because this was one that I thought had more complexity due to the angle and the anatomy. So I had sketched the proportions and the initial sketch before the live stream, and then during the live stream I added all the paint. And I believe, don't quote me on that, I can't remember for sure, but I believe this one was started and completed during the live stream. Another really fun one. It's all watercolor on cold pressed paper. So on the next week, I think this was September 27th, I believe. By then, that's when I not this that was just a sketch that I've been thinking of doing, and it's one of those things that it just keeps getting thrown to the back burner. But either way, so this was a gouache piece that I did on this black mixed media paper. If you've been here for some other ones of my videos, you will see that I've been working with gouache for the whole pretty much the whole month of December. And this was my second attempt of using gouache paint, and I really like the way it came out. I am really sorry about the glare. I know gouache is actually very matte, and it is matte. It's just that the camera is picking up the light, and since it's a very light moon, it's just having a hard time focusing, and it's just it shows as glare, but it's not. The moon has a lot of different colors, different tints. I did a lot of glazing in pinks and purples, and it's a bit of a shame that I can't really show you what it looks like. Maybe I'll attach a picture alongside with this so you can see. It was one of my favorite pieces that I created during those live streams. This one, again, I think I was started and completed during the live stream. I might be mistaken. I'm not sure if I ended up finishing again the highlights and just smaller details off camera. I really can't remember, but I do have videos of the whole process on my Instagram if you would like to follow me there. I'm under the same tag name. Okay, so later on, I believe this was October 12th, I completed this piece, which is just the, as you can tell, probably the Batman symbol. I thought I had already completed it, but I always had in mind that I wanted to add some glow-in-the-dark effect to it. So that's when I decided to add all of these. That I did those details of the what appears to be like smoke. I did it during a live stream as well. That is the glow-in-the-dark effect, and let me see if the camera picks it up so I can show you what it's like. And this is just a UV lamp that I use to activate it. Okay, so I'm gonna try my best for you to be able to pick up the glow effect. It's obviously a lot more noticeable in person than it is picking up on camera. The camera takes a little time for it to focus and pick up the low light effect, so you're not gonna see it as glowy as it is in person, but yeah, that's the idea. Later on, for I believe this was the last week of October, I did this piece also during a live stream. I learned that Winnie the Pooh was no longer, or it was a royalty-free brand now, so, or design, I should say. So as long as you make it your own style, you can still use Winnie the Pooh and Piglet. So that's what I did. I did a Happy Halloweeny the Pooh. This was really fun to create. I was so loose during this process, as you can see, and so I just used watercolor and micron pens for the line art. This painting here, I wish I could have finished it before Halloween, but I think I finished this one up until November 2nd or so. I don't know if you can tell, but this is Beetlejuice. It's one of my favorite movies from back in the day. It was just a fun project for me to dive into. I had never done a painting a portrait painting. I do a lot of portraits, but they're always graphite pencil or charcoal. I had never done one in acrylics. So this is a canvas board, and I started the process during a live stream too, which was really fun because two other artists joined me in the live stream, and they were painting along and we were just chatting, and it was super fun. But of course, portraits do take a very long time to complete. With this one, there was multiple layers, so it was a lot of very thin layers overlapped on onto each other. So it took quite a long time for me to finish. And also keep in mind that the month of September and October are my busiest times of the year, because I also, being a multimedia artist, I also make kids costumes for Halloween, and I sell them on Etsy. So towards the end of August, and then September and October are my busiest times, and I appreciate all the support. I love all my my customers for trusting my shop and asking me to make costumes for their kiddos, and I really love the whole process. The only thing that I wish I would have finished it before Halloween, just to be able to share it before Halloween, you know, but it's okay. I did it a little bit after, and I really like the way it turned out. It's here's Beetlejuice and all of his handsomeness. My next piece was on November 10th. I created this one also in watercolor. I attempted to do this one justice because we had just witnessed the longest rainbow in the sky that I've ever witnessed before. My daughter and I were watching it for over an hour and 15 minutes, I believe. It was just gorgeous. It actually was a double rainbow at first, but the second one started dissipating a little bit more as the time went by. But one of them just remained very bright in the sky, and it was right over the mountains. There was a lot of clouds. It was just beautiful. So I created this one based on the inspiration of just nature and the beauty of nature, and there it was. So this one is, like I said, watercolor on cold press watercolor paper. In the month of December, I painted this custom trading book album, and it's Pokemon themed. The character is called Espeon, and it was made for a very special person. I really like the way this turned out, and most of all, she was very happy about it. Then pretty much for the rest of the month of December, starting with the 1st all the way to the 24th, I created this challenge, which was the 24 days of gouache, where I was challenging myself to paint with only one color of the Himi gouache palette plus one ink. So I did 1, 2, 3, one of my favorites, 4, another one of my favorites, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, another one of my favorites, 15, another one of my favorites, 16, 17, 18, 19, I think this is my ultimate favorite, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. So that was my 24 days of gouache challenge. So I pretty much closed the year with this one. And if you've been here before, you've probably seen the process. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please bear in mind that this was a very personal video for me to take you down the journey, my thoughts and my motives of creating each one of these pieces. Each one of them meant a lot to me and I put a lot of emotion into them. So I really hope you enjoyed them. I am a multimedia artist, which means that I can't stick to one medium. That's just the way my mind and my creativity operates. I try to create out of joy and out of emotion. So if you like this video and you would like to see more following up, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hit that thumbs up and those notification bells, so this way you're notified when I upload a new video. I hope you stay creative and you enjoy your week, and I'll see you in the next one.